Okay, where do I start from? I'm popularly known as Beautifuennada, but the real name is actually Housemate. That's Ifo, my initials for Housemate. Then Ennada is a Dani spelled backwards. I was born in the early 90s, grew up in Lagos for a bit, and then at some point my family moved to the village because living in Lagos became very hard, thanks to hardship. It was there I lost my younger brother, died in front of me when I was 10, he was 4. And then moved back to Lagos, continued schooling. One thing led to another. I started developing, I think it's something I've always had in me. When I was younger, I loved to create things. I remember when I was in primary school, I would tear out sheets from my exercise books and write stories, including narrations that I would sell to my classmates. So as I grew older, I realized that whatever I studied in school, which by the way is computer science at Beautifuennada University, wasn't what I wanted to build a career off of. And I just had it in me that I wanted to be a creator, I wanted to solve problems. And but at the time, I didn't actually have the funds for it. When I was 19, I got a job as a TV presenter. And I learned on the job how to produce, report for events. I was basically in charge of producing TV shows, both for TV and for brands. And then I got into a situation where I lost my first job as a TV presenter because of sexual harassment. Moved on to another job, and it was when my job was no longer challenging as a TV producer and presenter that I got into acting. It was my first audition for a TV series called Emerald that aired on African Magic Family, and I got selected to play a lead role. But still, I knew I wanted to do something in business, not just act or sing or dance, because these are some of my natural talents. But it wasn't very rewarding at the time because I was always underpaid. I wasn't even popular. People knew me because people would see me on TV and all that, but I wasn't. I even got awards actually and nominations, but I wasn't where I wanted to be. And then Big Brother happened. I auditioned 2017. It was my first time. I never even really watched the show. I got into Big Brother. I got evicted after 6 weeks. But there was something I did in the house. I knew I was going to come out and launch a business. Before going on to Big Brother or going into Big Brother, I had terrible hair issues. I was losing my edges, my front hair around the temple because of terrible hairstyles that I did. And I was looking for ways to get my hair back. Nothing in the market worked for me. And that was when I started, trying several concoctions to get my hair back. Eventually, I would go on to professionally learn how to professionally manufacture hair and skincare products. But at the time, I was just trying my hands to different things. And then when I finally got into Big Brother, I knew that I wanted to use the platform to market myself as a business person or as someone who was going to come out and launch a hair care line. And it was at that time, if you saw me in the house, I was always on my natural hair. I don't think I ever had a wig on. And so people knew me as that girl with healthy natural hair. But that was a marketing strategy for me because I knew I was going to come out and launch my hair care line. And that was what happened in 2018 when I left Big Brother. I officially launched my hair care line on July 27th. And I started production here. At the time, I was actually quite homeless because I used a lot of my money trying to put myself back into the house, my winnings from the house. And obviously that didn't work, as you can tell. And then with what I had left, because I wasn't one of the most popular ones back then. So I didn't have a lot of money actually when I was done with all that, trying to put myself into the house that I was unsuccessful. I decided I was going to start my business. And at the time I was actually squatting, let me use the word squatting with a friend. I was quite homeless actually when I started my business. But people didn't know this. They just knew Beautifuennada on social media, Big Brother. My business grew really fast because people had seen my hair, they wanted that sort of hair. And I was also able to connect with them on that level of, I know what your problem is because this is what I've gone through and I can help you. And so that really helped my business. And after the first few months, I decided that I was going to outsource production because I wanted to focus solely on marketing And that went on, for a while, until I was struck by a series of unfortunate events. Well, like looking back now, I would say I would call them blessings in disguise. But that was how Beautifuennada started, with the hair care line. And over a year ago, in 2020, I delved into skincare because it's something I've also always wanted to do. I've always wanted to help women appreciate their skin, but there's this misconception that people who are born naturally light, or people who have light skin, are more attractive compared to dark skinned people. And so you see a lot of women going out of their way to buy really expensive bleaching creams, which actually end up destroying their skin. And I was a victim of bleaching. It wasn't like it was a conscious effort I made to bleach. I just wanted something natural that would make my skin glow, because I've always loved having really fresh skin. And it's not like my skin was bad, but we always want to get better, right? And so a friend sold me this supposed organic, and people have used the word organic. A lot of people don't even know what organic means. Organic cream that I was using at the time. And initially it looked like, okay, this thing is, clearing the skin tone and making the fresh skin come out. Long story cut short, I developed cystic acne caused by the steroids in the cream. My face was really bad. If you see pictures of my face there, and the thing is, a lot of people didn't even know because I was always covering with makeup. So if you see me online doing videos, I have like heavy makeup, but it was even making it worse because it was blocking the remaining pores that the steroids had not blocked. So my situation was terrible. And then it also gave me like really dark knuckles. I've never had dark knuckles as a human being, but when I started using the fake organic creams, I developed all those skin issues, even deep stretch marks. And I used to buy 30 ml serums of like $200. I'm not even joking. I remember the name of the spa, but I won't call them. This is not an advert for them. And I would pay for consultations. I once spent close to over 100K on consultation that didn't result to anything. I wasted so much money trying to get my skin back. Nothing worked until I decided, you know what? I think it's time you went in and professionally learned how to manufacture these things yourself. And yeah, I took several professional courses. I started making products myself. I fixed my skin myself. And from there, I decided that I was going to make this solution commercially available to other people in my shoes, or just basically people who are looking to just get really beautiful skin without bleaching. And that's how Beautiful Skin was born in 2020. Right. That's basically what I have been into for a while now. I also have a line of pre-stretch hair extensions. So what that means basically is for ladies who braid their hair, normally if you go with the regular extensions, you have to first cut and pull and comb. And in that time, you've wasted resources, because even the hair, it's not, if you weighed 500 grams before you started, the extension or the attachment, like most people say, no longer weighs 500 grams. So you have to actually use more. But my pre-stretch hair extensions already come with all that work done. So all your stylist needs to do is just sit down here, and then they just take and flat, and you say that you've actually cut short the time you would have spent doing all that work, and you've also saved more money because with fewer packs you have your hair done. So those are my businesses for now, and that is the story of how I got into business. I've always been somebody who loved being a creator, loved providing solutions to people's problems and adding value to life. So that is who Beautifuennada is. The factors that have set me apart in terms of making me like a household name, because you would see on social media when a celebrity talks about, oh, I'm losing my edges, what hair care line can I use? And people are tagging me seriously. Or when a celebrity talks about, even just a regular person on social media is talking about how to fix their skin or their hair, and people are saying, oh, go to Beautifuennada, go to Beautifuennada. I think it's because I was able to connect to people on the level that made sense to them. Hey, I know your problem because I have been through it. So it's not just about being a professional at making skin or hair care products, or knowing huge marketing words that can hype my product. It's about connecting to people where it's hurting them, making them understand that you understand their problem and you can help them solve them. And giving them solutions that actually work. I think that is something that's really helped me. Referrals, when stuff works for somebody, they want to refer it to their friend or their sisters. I have mothers who would buy a ton of my products and send to their daughters in the UK or the US. I have people, husbands, who would buy, my stuff for not just their wife, but their sisters, because their wives just said, oh, this thing is really working. And before you know it, all his sisters are using the product. So I would say is my brand story, making people understand that this is something I've been through. I genuinely understand your pain and I can help you. And also actually providing solutions that work. Well, first of all, I think the love for being a creator, giving life to things, is one of them. And I would also say the tenacity I've built from all of the challenges I have faced as a child, wanting to be successful, because success wasn't something that was readily available, and it was something that seemed very far. And for the first part, I would say, for as long as I can remember, I've always known that I was a creator at heart. So if I wasn't making skin or hair care products, I would probably be doing something that would see me. I mean, even when I was a TV producer, I was essentially putting things together, bringing things to life for the entertainment of whoever that was watching. So for as long as I can remember, I had that in me. And the other part, the need to be successful, is something that grew in me over time, because I didn't like the life I was born into. I was born into poverty, and it's not my parents' fault, because they obviously tried and they were hard workers. But I just didn't. I wanted my story to be different. I wanted to inspire people. So yeah, when I discovered these things, I armed myself with them, and I just built on them and got better. All right, so it's like I said at the beginning, I knew that I wanted to do something in beauty. I'm not sure if I mentioned that I didn't have the funds. When I got the opportunity to get on Big Brother, I knew that was a platform to market myself. So I came out of the show. I didn't win the show, but I had some funds thanks to the show, my winnings and all of those things. And even though I'd spent a huge amount of it on other things, like trying to get myself back into the house, I still had something left. So it was the tiny bit of money I had left that I just basically used to start my business. And even when I announced that I was coming out with a hair care line first, because I launched my hair care line under Beautifuennada before the skincare, I actually didn't have the money for mass production. So what I did was to create a pre-order period. So people were paying, but at a discounted price. And that also enabled me to see how many people wanted my product at that time. And it also helped me raise money, which I then used to produce as much as people wanted. So yeah, Big Brother was huge for me in terms of the little capital I started with. Also, the popularity I had from Big Brother, because people knew me. So it was easy for them to trust me. And also the marketing idea of creating a pre-order period to sort of gauge the market and see how many people are actually going to buy this thing, so I don't go and maybe even borrow money and produce 1 million bottles and I don't even sell 10. So yes, that's how I was able to do it. I want to be as big as possible. I know that's probably every brand's name, but I want to be as big as possible, not just in Nigeria, but a household name. Let's even start with Africa, because outside of Africa, we have brands that are really dominating and probably there for a long time. So let's just get our hands on Africa, be as big as possible, reach as many people as possible, because one of the problems that we have sometimes is people outside of Africa, outside of Nigeria, in some African countries, want to get their hands on my products, but when they look at the cost of shipping, so it sort of discourages them, because sometimes it's even more than what the product cost. So being as big as possible also includes having chains of stores or franchises or just outlets across all these different beauty hubs in Africa where my products are accessible, and also just reaching more women and just helping them appreciate their skin and helping them achieve their hair and skincare goals with my product. So that is something I've always, I know I'm going to achieve someday. It sounds huge, but yeah, it's very doable. The fear of failure. I'm motivated by failure. The need to help people, and I know that to be able to help people, I need to be successful. So those two things, I don't want to fail because I know where I'm coming from. A lot of people look up to me. A lot of people depend on me, even in the larger sense of it. So the fear of failure keeps me up. Like, I want to be successful. The fact that I am naturally benevolent, not just to my immediate family or friends, but like even to the stranger out there who might, be hungry or just need just something small to get them back on their feet. When I think that there are millions of people out there and I genuinely want to help them, I want to be successful. So these are some of the things that drive me. In business, I would say it was when the COVID pandemic hit the world. As I mentioned earlier, after a while, I started outsourcing production for my products, my hair care products, because I wanted to focus solely on marketing. But when COVID happened and ports were shut down, people were basically trapped in their countries. I couldn't ship my products down here. And for like over 6 months, I didn't have products to sell. Aside that, dollar rose from, it was around 360, 370 then. It rose to 400 and 500 and something. And presently, dollar is over 600 naira black market, because you're never going to get it at the bank rate. The banks don't even have dollars, right? So those things really affected my business. And it was so bad that I started losing hair. Imagine you own a skincare, a hair care brand, but you're losing hair. But it was stress-induced alopecia that I suffered because of all of the stress, that came with that moment. But that was also what made me awaken to the fact that, look, this is something that just happened to the world by surprise, right? Something else is going to happen. It might not be now, but some other time. So that was when I decided, you know what, I'm going to bring back production to Nigeria. And since then, I've done that. And it's also helped me create more jobs for people, because now, instead of paying people abroad to do that for me, I am doing it here. I'm teaching people. More people are employed. And yeah, so that was basically what happened to me. And my business almost literally closed. But we're here and God is good. All right, so I'm not sure if this is like a policy, but it's just like a general thought or request that I would make to them, and it's just to make the economy stable and profitable. Currently, the cost of production has gone up so high, especially for people who have to actually import some of the ingredients, they use for production. Dollar is now, in 2020, dollar was 300 and something. Right now, the last time I bought dollar, it was 610 naira. So imagine buying dollar that expensive because you're trying to, import things for production. And at the end of the day, it's not like you're making profits, because if you move the price high, you would lose customers, or even the sales would drop, which is something that we experience at some point. So if the economy can be profitable and the standard of living is good and cost of living is also good, because cost of living is really high now, it would make a lot of sense for a lot of people. A lot of businesses are closing because they can't keep up anymore. Everything is just crazy right now. But if the economy is stable and profitable, then yeah, businesses will thrive and life would make more sense for a lot of people. If I tell them now, that I'm giving them one step ahead, right? But seriously, beauty is beyond topical products like, what you put on your skin or your hair. there's a whole lot to it, which I am currently exploring. So for anybody who is in the beauty industry, you just have to think outside of the box, and but just be solution driven. That's how you make money. Okay, so DIYs. Well, what can I say? Okay, so something that you can do for your skin, if you have acne prone skin, or you suffer from like sores from like cystic acne, or you're looking to have a more even toned complexion, you can try a turmeric facial. Turmeric is oil soluble, and I know that some people say, oh, oil is not good for the face. There are oils that are actually exceptionally amazing for the face. They don't clog pores, but they help to, like, you know, lubricate the skin, protect the skin, prevent water loss from the skin, and just basically nourish the skin. So I would say making a paste of turmeric and aloe vera, if you can get your hands on that. Oh, by the way, I have a turmeric and aloe vera face mask, so that can definitely work for you. If you can make a paste of that with, say, jojoba oil, which is exceptional for the skin because it shares properties that are very close to that of the skin. Make a paste out of it and apply it on your face. Leave it to dry, say for like 20 minutes. Wash that off. If you do that at least 3 to 4 times a week in a month's time, because it takes the skin an average of 28 days to renew itself, you would see that your complexion has improved a lot. And also, if you were suffering from like sores from like acne and all that, you would see that there's been some healing that has gone on there. Another thing I would also like to say is, do not forget your sunscreen. It's easy for people to think that because they are dark skinned or because they are not Oyibo, that they won't get sunburned. But the truth is that the sun actually contributes to over 70% of premature aging. So if you are someone who is, even if you're not always out in the sun, you could even be in your house and you have like windows that the sun penetrates, because sun rays can move through glass and whatever is not as opaque as possible to keep it out, right? So use your sunscreen. It helps to slow down early signs of aging. Stay hydrated, because when you're dehydrated, it will show on your skin, and dehydration can also lead to early aging or premature aging. And this is specifically for the ladies. Even some men who bleach, as much as possible, please, in fact, avoid bleaching products. There's nothing good about bleaching products. It's all bad stuff, right? If you're looking to get healthy skin, look for a good moisturizer that you're not allergic to. The fact that something is natural or professionally made does not mean that you're not going to be allergic to it. So you have to look at the ingredients, and please stay away from products that do not declare their ingredients. So some products might not have it on the container, but if they have a website, you would see the ingredients there. So look out for ingredients you're not allergic to. Look out for a good moisturizer, and incorporate all of these things into your routine while also eating healthy. Okay, I've got you guys covered on the skin and hair, obviously you can tell. Okay. It depends really. It depends really. What you give is what you get. I can be easygoing, I can be intolerant. So it just depends. I can be both of them. Then again, it also depends. It also depends on the situation. Sometimes I would just ignore. Sometimes I'll definitely react. It depends on what's going on. I'm definitely not a foodie. Definitely not. I just try to eat to survive or stay alive. I like home. I like being in the comfort of my bedroom, working, doing all that stuff. But when I need to go out, I go out, right? But I'm an ambivert. I'm just somewhere in between. But I like my house. Devin is stylish, man. Have you seen me? No, relationship at a time, eh? With like the headache of one relationship is not enough. No. One relationship at a time is what I'm doing, please. Definitely deep thinker. I can overthink. Hey, Jesus. I need deliverance in that department. Punctual, please. Punctual. I'm always punctual, because Well, I just don't want to be late. Punctual. It's better to be punctual or even arrive early than lateness. No, I don't like lateness. Late nights. I think I'm a night person. Sometimes I just want to keep sleeping. When I finally get up, I get up.